I forgot to tell you, and I know I normally text you, how awesome the Ocean's 11 came out.
Oh, thanks.
I really think we're onto something about
Atlantic
Benedict Benedict Eggs being the best boss, and I think he deserves like a boss award.
I know. What's the show where it's like undercover? Is that a show? Undercover Bosses, where it's like
yes, with a really scary guy that looks like a bass fish.
Oh my! I don't know that man.
He's like, that's not how you put a straw in a drink. Oh wait, is that like Bar Manager? No, I'm thinking of a different show. I don't know.
I thought it was all different bosses on the Undercover Boss, and then it was like they would go and pretend to be like a new employee to see if like their actual employees like suck. And he should do that with the security in his casino because they're trash.
Absolutely.
So this whole movie could have been avoided if he just went on Undercover Boss.
It's really true.
Moral
really
of the story.
Just some training.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
We timed that wrong.
Woo! Yes. Hello.
Baby, get that whip. Get that fedora. Get that leather jacket.
Swing. Just trying to do noises.
And let's start running from booby traps.
Booby traps! Yeah. Oh man, I think you said this last episode. You were like, this is what the Goonies would grow up to be. And then I watched it. I was like, yes, that is correct. Because there are a lot of one-eyed Willy skeletons all throughout.
And I kind of thought to myself, I was like, wait, did the Goonies like rip off a lot of stuff from this movie?
I mean, it was Steven Spielberg, both of them. So
Yeah.
Well, I know Steven Spielberg didn't direct Goonies, whatever, but like he had his hands in it, so
he did have his hands in it. But this was Indiana Jones was George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. But listeners, who are we? Because we're not Indiana Jones. Sorry to say, we're someone else. So I'm going to introduce ourselves. We are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And... I was trying to think of a quote and I failed.
The ones that always stick out to me are the like snakes.
About the snakes, yeah.
I hate snakes.
Well, I'm looking at my notes and then there's the one line where the guy goes, "That's just my pet snake, Reggie. Why the fuck is Reggie on the plane, sir? Do you even like your pet? Because I don't think you do."
Snakes on a plane.
Pet's gonna fly away. Yeah, I wish Samuel Jackson was there. Oh my god.
He'd be like, "Get this motherfucking snake off my motherfucking
Seriously.
plane."
Bridge, what's our movie this week?
Our movie is the 1981 Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is the first out of the trilogy.
Hold up. Katie has punctuation and word questions. Okay, I have Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Are you telling me there's an and a the in there and there's no colon? Because we need to be precise about this for me.
Oh no, I'm going to the internet.
Oh no, IMDb, help.
Oh no.
Oh my god, you're right. I was wrong. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's no colon. Okay, that'll be edited out.
This is a whole section in your trivia, too. It's like grammatical movie titles.
I think it's because in my heart of hearts, I know I would get all those wrong, even though I try so hard, so. Yes.
Yes.
So there's 4 total Indiana Jones movies?
Oh, I thought there was 3, but there might be 4.
Well, the Crystal Skull Bridge. People don't forget the 2008.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not good. It hurt me on the inside.
I didn't see that one.
Don't see it. No, don't. Mm-mm.
Is it with Harrison Ford?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Wait, there's 5. One is scheduled for 2022 launch.
Oh, well, I don't see Harrison Ford in there, so we probably know how that story's gonna go.
Yes, we do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Bridge, would you like to give us the synopsis?
You bet your bottom dollar I do.
The sun come out, Indiana Jones, with the raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay.
So a couple of things I want to also add before I do this was a pick from my most favorite listener of all time, my husband, James.
Yay!
And he watched it with me.
Oh, good.
So I have some notes for like the things he said.
Okay.
So every now and then I might say like, I call it like a James pause and then like whatever like random thing he said.
And then we'll make up a noise to represent that.
Yeah. Like,
we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah. So, okay. First I gotta read the Amazon, sentence intro. Okay. Get ready for thrills in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indy and his ex-flame, Marion Ravenswood, dodge booby trap, fight Nazis, and stare down snakes in their incredible worldwide quest for the mystical Ark of the Covenant.
Well,
somebody snorted a line of coke and wrote that.
Felt like I was on an adventure during that sentence. My gosh.
Okay, so I think this is one of these movies that I have seen, and now, like, taking notes and paying more attention with it, there's a lot more to this that I didn't realize. So I will try to make it short, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing you need to know is Indiana Jones. And who's Indiana Jones? It's Harrison Ford. The thing about Indiana Jones is, like, he is kind of like a little annoyed he has to do things, and I find that really funny, and that's what makes, I think, Harrison Ford like a perfect cast for Indy. He is an archaeologist.
Yes.
A professor.
Oh, he's got a big resume.
A bad professor, because he just ditches class. We'll talk about that. And he is constantly traveling the world trying to find all of these like artifacts, all of these famous ancient artifacts. And so at this time, which is the 1930s, that's when this movie is set. Germany and the Nazis and all this crazy shit's going down. And I would say like US intelligence comes to Indy and the university and says, we have found out that the Nazis are trying to discover the Ark of the Covenant. And that to me is some like crazy, weird, religious, like basically it was the 10 Commandments that were broken, and then pieces of the broken 10 Commandments ended up in this chest. And then the chest itself was, like, people thought it was haunted, so no one ever, like, opened it up, and that's in itself what is in...
I thought it was, like, in the Ark of the Covenant is, like, the Lord, but he's, like, scary.
I think so. They don't know that until later, but I think
wasn't that what they thought? They were like theorizing.
Well, they were theorizing that they've heard really bad stuff about it, and you shouldn't really open it. But people wanted to open it because it's like showing the 10 Commandments, like pieces of the 10 Commandments or something like that. Based on your face, maybe you thought something else happened.
I didn't think the 10 Commandments were in there. I thought they thought it was just like powerful, and they could get like powers from it. Because weren't they like, we're bringing this to Hitler so Hitler can like be evil. Like, why the fuck would Hitler want the 10 Commandments? What is that?
Because of, like, the power it holds. So, like, you're right. It is, like, the spiritual power behind it. But, like, there has to be something that it's, like, held in, right? So it's not, like, just, like, the spirit in this chest. What was in the chest were, like, the lost pieces of the 10 Commandments that got lost and no one could find, and they think it's in that chest. And then remember that one scene where they open it and there's nothing inside, and then all the crazy stuff happens? That's why he wanted to see what was inside, if it's in there.
Oh, okay.
But okay, so we've definitely already confused everybody.
So, yeah.
So,
the Ark is like a big box, let's be honest. It's like a big treasure chest, all right? That's all you need to know.
And there's like, I think once you add the religion piece to it, and there's like a mystical piece to it, I think that's, again, all you need to know.
Yeah.
So the US intelligence is like, listen, we can't have the Nazis finding this because they believe this is really powerful. And besides being powerful, the Nazis used to steal like famous art and all these things that could be worth a lot of money too. So I think with crazy wars and all that, I think it was also kind of territorial thing. So So he goes, we're sending you off. And then he literally does like a world trip. He goes to like Tibet. He goes to
my
Egypt.
God, he's all over.
He is flying all over. And in order to find this covenant, there's like different pieces he has to collect. And so he's basically Carmen Sandiego, traveling the globe.
He is, without a red hat.
Without a nice outfit. Yeah. Collecting all of these different pieces that will eventually help him locate where this is. And he meets up with a bunch of different people along the way. His ex-flame, Marion, who is a child.
Yeah, that'll be talked about because I hate it. Yeah.
Gross. And then he meets up with Sala. Or am I saying that right?
I think I wrote Saul, like the Italian guy in New Jersey. Yeah.
Hey, me and Sola going to get the dig. So I think it's Sala, but he works with him in Egypt, and basically the Nazis are already like digging up where this is happening, so they have to do kind of the secret heist where they find it. And it's a lot of back and forth between like the Nazis capturing them and them getting away and running here and running there and Marion getting captured a bunch of times, and eventually there's a lot of action-packed adventure where Indy, he goes from like cool Tomb Raider to like all of a sudden we're in like Fast and the Furious action.
Oh my God, yeah, with a truck.
There's like trucks and we're on boats and we're on planes and it's just
yeah.
And all throughout the way John Williams is playing the most amazing music that helps you get from A to B.
That band is not getting time to breathe. Absolutely not.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
And I think in the end he gets the covenant, and then the US government in a super duper shady way says that they'll take it and they really just kind of hoard it and hide it in a big warehouse.
Yes.
The end.
Yes. Woo!
I mean, I hope your editing magic helps that. That was rough.
That
was really rough.
One person I want to add in that is an important character is this guy Belloc, who is kind of presented as like Indiana Jones's like arch enemy, because he's also an archaeologist, but he's like a jerk, and he like tries to outwardly murder Indiana Jones like multiple times, but I don't know, I guess we don't arrest him, who knows.
Well, and what is his name? This is
Belloc.
Elliot Belloc. Who's Belloc?
That's his name. That's the bad guy who was like the French guy that was like being gross with Marion.
Oh,
like he was working with the Nazis.
Yeah, so and then of course Mose gave like a line where he's like the Frenchman, because back in the war the French helped the Germans.
Well,
and that was like a little tie. I think that was like, I don't know, alluding to that. Yes, he's very important because he was like the Nazi, like the face of the Nazis, because they really didn't know anything about archaeology or doing any of this. They were just soldiers.
Yeah, but then it's like every other Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones doesn't have like an arch enemy.
Yes.
Who he's like, it's you, my nemesis, that every year I go. Like, that's annoying. We don't think, I'm glad that guy was not in other movies, because he did. Yes.
Well, and each one of the Indiana Jones has like some really bizarre antagonists.
Well, it's so funny because, like, so when I remembered, obviously I know there's 3 of these. I knew that Raiders was the first one, but I thought and you're gonna laugh when I say this because I know the title. I thought The Last Crusade was, not the last movie. I thought that was the second movie, and then I thought Temple of Doom was the last one, and it's not. It's Raiders, Temple of Doom, and then The Last Crusade. And what's funny is in this movie, the Nazis are the bad guys, but Temple of Doom, they kind of make, like, the natives of whatever East Asian culture, they make them the bad guys, which is like uncomfortable. And then I think they realized that was kind of racist, so then they went back to Nazis. So then we got Nazis again, and the third one was the bad guys. And then even in the stupid Crystal Skull trash, they're also Nazis. So there's a lot of Nazis apparently living in the world, which
well, and you said this last episode, and I was like, oh, I don't think there's Nazis, are there? And I'm like, oh, that's what this whole movie is about.
I forgot how many Nazis were in this, but it's like they're really just like make it very clear who the bad people are. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Well, Kate, I think we need to go through this because most people probably forwarded through that explanation. First of all, John Williams. I am so obsessed with his music, and
oh my God.
Throughout all of our podcast episodes, I have learned to appreciate his brilliance. And the thing that I realize he does in all of his movies is he comes up with a theme song.
Yes.
And then he just so gracefully intertwines it into all these other little scenes in different ways. I feel like he really helps like bring this together. So I really like appreciated that. That was like kind of fun. And the other thing I learned, and this was a James informing me, is when George Lucas and when George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were doing this back in like the 30s, there was movies made like this. They don't have like an actual like name, but like the Indiana Jones style where it's like, I'm an adventure man and I have a big quest and I have a lovely lady. And like he made me watch some of them, like an old one with like Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
Oh my God.
But I think the music helped with that. The music helped a little bit with like bringing back into the 30s because it was very like orchestra and like that's how all those 30s movies were made, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but we get right into action, man. He's in the jungle and things are cooking.
We're in the jungle literally as the opening credits are playing and I was like, whoa, all right, jungle time, excellent. And, you know, right away, Bridge, I felt like there was a Bob scene. Like, immediately. Any guesses on what it was?
Was it the poison dart? Are they still fresh? And he licks it and doesn't die? Because I thought he should have died for that.
That was, like, pretty much close. No, the one part where I guess I think it's someone who's, like, with Indiana Jones. Like, some, like, looks like maybe a native. I don't know. Like, guy who's just kind of helping them through the jungle. And he moves away some, like, leaves and vines. And there's, like, a statue face. And he screams bloody murder and then runs away. Yes, and then nobody says anything and we all move on. And I was like, we just got in the movie, guys. Like, I don't know why we needed that. What are we doing?
I wrote over dramatic scream.
Yeah. I was like, why did he run away? What are we doing? So that was a very early on Bob scene, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, don't lick poison darts either because you just said they're poison. And he's like, the poison's still fresh. And I was like, so are you dead? What?
Well, that's what he said. And I was like, wait. Something's not right. But okay, Kate, I gotta get this out of the way because immediately Indy takes his whip and he whips some guy.
He whips the gun out of his hand.
He whips the gun out of his hand and I do an assessment on his outfit.
Okay. Well, we're ready for it.
I think it's appropriate.
You know, I'm gonna have to invest some money in like the fashion police music where it's like din, 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 like a runway sound. I'm leaning towards getting some more sound effects, clearly. So, all right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
I've said to James, I go, you know, Katie makes fun of me because I always bring up the outfits, but I think this is relevant because you're telling me he's this like action adventure guy and he's got a leather jacket in the hot jungle.
Sweaty,
And it's like leather, like.
Yeah.
And then he's got a fedora.
I don't know if it's called a fedora, but yeah.
But it's like not cowboy hat, right? It's like a little fedora.
Yeah, but it's not like I play jazz music in a lounge fedora.
But if he changed his leather jacket, he could.
Well, that's true, yeah.
And then he has like a whip. So you're like, wait, what? I just felt like he must be sweaty and uncomfortable and he can't he's like jumping and running and hiding under things and slipping under things. And like, you're telling me a leather jacket button is not going to get caught? Like, it just didn't, I don't know. Did you notice that now looking back and being like, that's kind of silly?
I noticed that he sported a heavy V-neck much of the time and, you know, it's a button-down shirt, but like, you know, we have a lot of buttons for a reason, so you usually want to have more buttoned than less buttoned, and he was like the opposite of that, so it was confusing too, because I was like, if you don't want to wear a shirt, you don't wear a shirt, right? But you're wearing like half a shirt, so I think you need to like figure out what you're gonna do.
Okay, alright, well, that's out of the way, so, also he wears a man purse, a satchel.
He does. Well, like, what else are you gonna wear, though? I mean...
Well, he got a leather jacket with a bunch of pockets.
He does have pockets. I don't know what's in that satchel, actually. Well, he had the bag of sand, Bridge. He can't fit that in his pockets.
And did you get, like, the sense that, like, it is still weird with a whip? Like, it's kind of weird.
You think it's, like, a double duty? Like, you think... Like, that was a big one.
Well, and it's like, the whip is like bad symbolism in lots of areas in life, you know, and history, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know, they needed a whip, because
I know, well, then I got over it.
And...
I got over it quickly because he wasn't, like, obsessed with it, but just watching the movie now, I was like, huh. But don't worry, because we quickly get attacked by spiders.
Holy shit, I literally wrote, holy fuck, tarantulas! Oh my god, everybody freak out better! Nobody was freaking out, and, like, I guess that's the point, to be like, wow, what a calm and stoic, you know, adventurer he is, my god. But I was still like, these are real tarantulas, and there's, like, 100 of them. Is anyone who's in charge of these? Because there's a lot of wrangling. Oh my god. And felt that way with the snake scene too later, so I'm interested to know if there's fun facts.
Oh my god, there is. And again, I don't like CGI. I really don't. And this movie used not a lot.
I don't think there was well, I don't know if we can even call that CGI or if that was just Microsoft Paint you know, being animated on screen.
But like, so I read that the spiders on the back of like his kind of cohort or whatever, they weren't like moving, and they were like, we need these to like look scary. And the trainer was like, oh, those are all males, and the males actually like get along with each other, so they just kind of sit there. So they replaced them all with female spiders, and apparently female spiders like beat the living shit out of each other.
Jesus!
So that's why they were all like moving and going crazy. And can you imagine movie directors today having like a spider specialist to go and one, get all of them, and then like talk through the intricacies of it? No, they would use like CGI and not think about it. And I think it sucks. I think it was way better back then.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that actor's shoes, personally.
No way.
Oh my god. He had like, there was like 30 on his back. Oh my god.
And then we get right into booby traps and Chester Copperpots.
I wrote that. I was like, oh my god, what do you know? So yeah, I'm sorry. The Goonies would not have survived some of these traps. One was like, don't walk in the light. And I'm like, how does this work? What's the science behind this booming trap? Can we get the Mythbusters in here? Because I think this is gonna get busted. And then the other one was like you step on a tile and then the stuff gets shot out and then something. Again, I was like, I just don't know if like they didn't even have like running water and like working plumbing, you know, what?
And you're telling me he's an archaeologist obsessed with these like ancient ruins and finding these buried treasures, but he basically like ruins the cave that it's hosted in. And so you're like, wait, isn't that a treasure? Like you're kind of a hypocrite. You like destroy the history.
I literally thought of that in the scene closer to the end where he's in like the tomb and he straight up just like destroys the giant Egyptian statue. He doesn't even think twice. He's like, well, I guess we'll just have to blow this up because that's more important. I'm like, oh my god, sir, are you okay? What's happening?
That's like, yeah. And the whole, I just got like a video game vibe. Like,
yes.
It was like, okay, there's spiders. All right, there's like arrows. Okay,
2 points.
You have to get the golden like weird doll thing, and you replace it with your sandbag. And okay, oh no, the big boulder's coming. Dun, 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 dun. And it just is like, and I wrote the infamous ball chasing scene, the boulder run.
Yes. I feel like at Disneyland they used to have like a live action Indiana Jones show because I remember a guy having to run away from a boulder, but like that's all I remember.
I know.
That's kind of all we remember, right?
That is what you remember. And then, like most of his missions, he ends up failing. And then he gets out, and the native people and his nemesis the whole time,
Belloc,
are like, thank you, Indy, I'll be having that.
Yeah.
Like,
and
wait,
then
what?
Somewhere in there, the guy he was like traveling with, which like part of me was like, why are you even traveling with this guy? I don't think this guy has done anything to be helpful. So what do we, like, what is he doing? And then he tries to like betray him, but then he dies.
I mean,
and then he's a Chester Copperpot as well.
Well, and I thought, yes, that's right. And I thought that was like shady too. I was like, okay, so you trust this guy by giving him the treasure. He screws you over and then he's dead. And we really like don't ever think about him again. And we just like move on.
That's it. So I was like, I don't get the point. Just to show like Indiana Jones is resourceful. He would be in the Slytherin house at Hogwarts. Is that it? That's all we got? Okay.
Hot takes from Katie.
Slytherins are resourceful, everyone. All right? Drop the stereotypes, please.
Wow,
anyway.
wow. So then he gets captured, right? And
well, no, this is where Belloc is like, hey, I'm gonna steal your treasure and now I'm gonna let you be murdered. So better run.
It's not good.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is a very public murder.
And the thing that I think Harrison Ford does so well in multiple scenes is he has this like low, calm voice. He doesn't say much when he does. It's just very like stoic. And then he quickly goes to 1,000 where he's like, start the plane. Start the plane! And he just like screams. And it is so funny. And he does that throughout the movie. And it's so, so, so funny.
I love how you see him running and you're like, okay, those guys are like pretty close to him. Uh-oh. And then like clearly in editing, they were like, oh snap, we gotta make him like have more distance because this isn't realistic. So the next scene, it's like the natives are like a mile away and it just kept like, the perspective kept changing. It was so funny. I was like, well, good thing these people have shitty aim like all the stormtroopers in Star Wars because you would have been shot up with a bunch of arrows. But nope, he gets to dive in the river and then he dives on the plane and then he dives in the cockpit and then that's where the guy's pet snake Reggie is and that's where it snakes on the plane.
Also, if you saw a snake, if you sat down in a cockpit and a snake was there, aren't you throwing that out the plane?
That's what yeah.
Reggie would have been dead if I was there.
Well, and part of me is like, where did Reggie go after? Because the other guy didn't seem too worried about him, so
Reggie's got like a little like aviator cap and like goggles, and he's like
really cute actually on a snake. Oh my god, yeah.
So we're like, wow, Indiana Jones adventure. We just got into it. I am loving this action-packed scene, and then we get to
Nerd
the class
glasses.
to Nerdville. He's got a slick back hair. He's writing stuff on the board, and the weirdest scene in the world happens, Kate, that you sent me a meme before this
It was a gift. I sent you a gift. Yeah, of a girl who took the time before this class to close her eyelids one by one and very carefully with marker or makeup or I don't know, write the words, love you, on her eyelids so that when she blinked and if she held them closed long enough, you could read them.
It was so distracting and I was so embarrassed for her. And you could tell they couldn't decide, do we want to make Indy like a James Bond lover?
Right.
Or do we want to just have him be like Adventure Man? And the whole movie they couldn't figure it out. And that's why Marion was such a weird character too.
Yeah. So, okay, was this, please say this was college?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was a little worried about it. I assumed it was, but then like someone left him like an apple on his desk, and I was like, "The fuck, you guys! You're like young adults. Get that shit out of here."
It's set in the 30s, right? So in 1936, do you give an apple to your professor? I don't know. Someone's got to look that up. But his friend just takes it and eats it.
Yeah, he did. I wrote that. I was like, "LOL." And this friend of his is a guy who works for some museum, so they like work together to like Indiana Jones goes and gets stuff, and then it gets put in the museum, and then I think Indiana Jones gets paid. So that's another interesting character aspect, is it's like, do you really like archaeology or do you like money? Because you seem to not give a shit about these cool runes you just found. Okay.
No. And that scene in particular, when he like meets with the other guys, it's like white dudes on white dudes on white dudes with white dudes about white dudes, white dudes, white dudes. I was like, holy crap.
White dudes.
Like white dudes.
White dudes.
Like, all of the dudes.
You gotta put sunglasses on because it's so white.
But they explain the whole Hitler that let me read this sentence and then you could myth bust this from our like confusion.
Okay.
Hitler is obsessed with ancient idols.
Okay.
And they believe they have discovered Tanis. Okay, thank you.
City of Tanis,
where they believe the actual 10 commandments that were broken were put in Jerusalem and got lost, and everyone thinks it went to Tannis. And so that's why, like, everyone is going after it. Honestly, that is all I got out of all of that talking.
Well, no one's going to be surprised to hear this, but all I got out of a lot of this was they kept referencing that Indiana Jones is into the occult. And then in my brain, I was like, and I played the X-Files music, and I was like, oh my God, imagine if Indiana Jones and Fox Mulder teamed up, and they're going and hunting down Supernatural, Ark of the Covenants. Oh my God. So I got a little stuck on that.
I feel like David Duchovny and Harrison Ford would be like brothers.
Oh my God, how cool would that be?
I mean, they kind of have like the same vibe.
Oh my God, that would have been cool. But they like kept referencing it, and I think it was because, like you said, nobody really knew what the Ark was, so there was like this theory that, oh, there could be mystical, magical, and then randomly throughout the movie, people kept being like, I don't believe in that stuff, and blah, blah, and it was a lot.
It was a lot, and then they touch on, I have to get in touch with Marion Ravenswood, because she's an expert on finding this, because no one has ever found it, and at this point I wrote, okay, this is like the movie Clue meets a video game, because like, what is happening?
He wanted to go find Marion's dad, because we're gonna get into the creepiness of this setup. Indiana Jones was friends with Marion's dad, so number one, that's weird relationship. Number two, they're like, we don't know where Mr. Ravenwood is. He like dropped off the face of the earth, and he's like, uh-oh, that's weird. Haven't talked to him in years, so blah, blah, blah. So that's why he goes and sees Marion, because he's actually trying to find the other guy, and then he finds out that guy's dead, and then that's when Marion says, I was a child, and I threw up in my mouth, and hate it, and I don't like it, because it's gross, and you're friends with your dad.
And we meet her doing a shot contest, so clearly she's now, like, hit up alcoholism to deal with it.
There's some issues, you know. She did learn other languages, though, so, I mean, I guess there is some kind of productivity we're doing in our personal life, but, like, stop! Why are you drinking so much? My God.
I was like, okay, one, they could be referencing, like, the 30s and how inappropriate the 30s were, or two, they just made a bad freaking call, and why the hell couldn't she be older?
Well, we don't know how old she is.
No, when she references when they got together, I actually saw someone take a picture of the script, and she is a teenager.
Like, what age, though?
Like 16.
Ew. Mm-hmm. And he was probably, like, late 20s or something gross.
Well, and before he gets gallivanting around the world, he's in, like, a Hugh Hefner coat, packing his bag.
Totally is.
And you're just like, what? Who is he? Is he Casanova? Like, what is he?
And
Nobody
then he's like, I'll be packing this gun. And then I laughed because the next scene is him casually getting on a plane, and everyone's like, anyway, we don't give a shit what's in your bag. So have fun, y'all. Good luck in this tiny plane.
You can't have a nail file, but he just throws a gun into his bag. Yeah. Totally. A gun, a whip. Everyone's like, this guy's fine.
Yeah, like, he's good to go. Look at his hat. He's fine.
Oh my God. So so she's in Nepal doing a drinking contest, which I was very happy that ended up being relevant later when she does a drinking contest with the other dude, which I was like, okay, cool.
Even though that kind of goes nowhere, but like, they tried to set it up, so it's fine. Yeah.
And basically, Indiana Jones appears out of the shadows, and she was like, God damn it, my trauma's back. I'm gonna have some more shots.
Okay, did you notice how they showed him, too? Because they do this a lot in this movie, and I thought it was, like, kind of funny, because I was like, who thought this was cool to do? They kept doing where you would see, like, a character introduction, like, via shadow on a wall, but, like, not in, like, a cool way. No. And then they did it, like, 8 times, and I was like, we get it! My God!
I mean, maybe that's why he needed the fedora? Like, I don't know.
That's so weird. That's how they introduced him. And then that's when she's like, Indiana Jones, you son of a bitch. And I was like, Marianne is probs hella drunk right now.
Yeah,
she like, probably thinks she's hallucinating seeing him, and everybody hates it. So, yep.
And he's like, hey, so I know I, like, traumatized you your whole life. Could I get the most valuable thing you own? Frenzies.
Yeah.
And she's like, get out of here. I'll think about it.
She's like, come back tomorrow. And he's like, okay, bye. And
but I was like, it was pretty much around her neck. It was like her necklace.
Literally, okay. okay, that was the biggest necklace I've ever seen in my life. It was bigger than the clock necklace that, was it Flavor Flav? Was that the guy? Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was bigger than his clock necklace, and the homegirl's wearing it under her shirt at all times? Are you kidding me?
Well, there's
also no way.
Like 82 pounds.
It's
and like 5'1".
so ridiculous.
And you're like, you're so little. But then she just casually takes out this like famous piece, ancient piece, and just like puts it on a bar table and it's like la 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 la. I'm like, okay, we're not hiding this. Nope. And then the Nazis show up and he's like, good evening, Fräulein.
Oh my god, that guy was a lot. We hate it.
He was creepy.
Yeah. And like, I guess he was supposed to be, but like, I hate it.
He was like the Nazi muscle, which I'm like, you're basically like the most evil person ever known to man, if like that's your like personality trait. But this gets into a giant bar fight with like gunshots and fights and like just chaos.
Well, because he's literally gonna like burn her face with like a fire poker, and then Indiana Jones is like, surprise, I'm back! Woo! I don't listen to directions by ex-girlfriends. Woohoo! And then he saves her, and then it's like a Six Flags style, you know, Western live show on the waterfront.
It really is.
Yeah, like it was just a lot happening. And then at one point, that creepy Nazi guy like catches on fire. No, he doesn't catch on fire, but like he burns
his hand.
But isn't he on fire somehow, or did I make that up?
No, some other dude was definitely
Someone's
on fire. There's lots of fire.
There was a lot of Saw-like death in this scene.
He tried to grab the medallion, and it burned into his hand. And then I didn't get this, but James pointed this out to me. That's how they had one side.
Yes, that's why they didn't have the other.
To be able to like find out where to dig, I guess. Which I'm like, okay.
So you're like, wow, justice is served. He like burned his hand, but then they like try to turn it into a weird comical moment where they then have him like screaming like a cartoon, and then he jumps through a window and like through the glass, and then you're like, okay, I guess we're done with him. But then the movie's like, no, we're gonna see more. Isn't this funny? And then you see him like, ooh, ee, ah, ooh, ooh. He's like in the snow, like trying to like not be burned. And
he's straight up Joe Pesci in Home Alone after his hand gets burnt from the doorknob.
That's what it was. I was like, wait, guys, like who did? George?
It was a lot.
Was this George Lucas? Did you decide this scene should be here? Because I didn't ask for it. No,
I don't know. But after that, we were all like, we got to get out of Nepal, and then we hop on a plane and head to Cairo.
Yeah. So this is where we meet Saul. He's got the provolone. He's not Italian at all. I'm so sorry. Yeah, he's like a digger or something, because he's like, oh, they don't know how they're digging and blah blah blah.
Yeah, he's in the same field, and they, I think when relevant, they like team up together. But this is very much in 3,000 years no one has ever found this, and you know, all these people very easily had all these pieces to find it, and the Nazis are like literally digging up all of these pieces. So you're just like, okay. And then they keep talking about the Well of Souls.
Wait, so what is the Well of Souls?
So the Well of Souls is where the Ark of the Covenant would be.
Okay. Is that just like a room?
That was what you were joking that he destroyed.
Oh, that was a well? Because like, okay. Different from the wells I'm used to, but sure.
I mean, it's not like when...
It's not like...
in Goonies.
No. It's not the wishing well with Troy and his leather jacket or whatever.
No.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right.
So, but that's another reference where they're like, it's so spoopy. And I was like, X-Files. But then, you know, we didn't really dive into that too much.
But it was kind of confusing because they kept being like, it's religious. So I didn't get like a spooky ghost vibe. I got the like, listen, don't mess with religion. That's some like real old mystical stuff. But the Nazis are terrifying. And they're so terrifying that they've gotten a monkey to salute to Hitler.
Damn! Now they got animal trainers working for the Nazis. Because what even? I kind of remembered this part. I remember like, oh, it's a cute little monkey. And then I was like, but don't trust the monkey. The monkey is bastard. But the monkey's still like kind of cute. And it very quickly climbs on Marion and she's like, I'm keeping this. She's like, now this is my monkey. And I was like, oh my, okay. I wouldn't have dove in that fast.
Why are you trusting the scary monkey that is like, that is a Nazi? It's a Nazi monkey.
This is a Nazi monkey. He salutes. It's not good. We hate it.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then immediately they find Indiana Jones and try to fight him. And I was like, I don't understand what happened. Why is he already like in trouble?
Yeah, I don't know either. I actually don't know the answer. I guess because they knew like he might have had the necklace, I guess.
Okay.
But
so they remember him from Nepal and they were like, we're gonna get that guy.
And there's like 100,000 million henchmen and Indiana Jones beats up every single one of them. pretty easily. So that's cool.
Pretty easily. And the town, the Cairo town itself is like on Indy's side, basically. You get that vibe too. That they want him to win.
Right.
And not the scary French dude or the Nazis.
Okay, so in here, well, one, there's the really funny scene that is genuinely funny where the one guy comes out and he's got the giant swords and it's like a big, like everyone's like, whoa, standoff. And Indiana Jones rolls his eyes, takes out a gun, shoots the guy, and then quickly moves on. And I was like, thank you. Thank you, sir. Can we do that more often? Thank you so much.
There's a backstory to that.
Wasn't that improvised?
It was improvised because apparently the whole cast was like sick.
Oh.
And they were so tired of this scene that I think like they just improvised that because they were like, I'm sick of acting.
It's the best scene. So kudos to you, Harrison.
It is brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's machine guns and there's chase scenes and Marion's in a basket.
Okay, wait, but
what?
Yeah, so here's another, this was written by a man moment. What weapon did they give Marion to use against the male attacker?
Oh, I don't know. What was it?
Oh, a frying pan. A woman's only choice of defense, as you know. We all live in the kitchen. We never leave it. And it's the only, we won't go for a knife, of course, but a frying pan will be our defense. Yep. Mm-hmm. I literally wrote a skull face next to that in my notes because I was like, I'm dead. I'm a dead person. And then she hides in the basket. The monkey's a little brat and calls her out. And then she gets like kidnapped. And then Indy thinks, and I guess we as the audience kind of think like, oh shit, she just blew up. And
we think she's dead.
I'm a little confused how she didn't blow up, but somehow she didn't blow up. And, again, the X-Files music played in my head and I was like, something's happening here, but we're gonna let it go. I think there's aliens involved, but I'm gonna let it go because it's a little too Crystal Skull for me.
I have no idea any of those references, but I believe you. Okay. And then with throughout this whole time too, we also get the don't disturb the covenant. I wouldn't disturb the covenant. I think there's bad stuff with it. And they also realize how the Nazi medallion is wrong. Once they very quickly get over Marion's death as he traumatized her life. She died and then he really couldn't care less.
Yeah, I literally wrote, Indy says Marion's dead and no one cares. LOL. That's what I wrote about that.
and basically Sala saves him. They go back and they're like, I think the Nazis are wrong. This is a two-sided medallion. Yeah. They don't know what's happening. We know the coordinates. So we're going to have the worst disguise ever.
The worst!
And go into where all of the Nazis are asking these Cairo slaves, because I assume that's what they are.
Yeah.
Digging. And we're just going to like casually walk through the battlefield.
During the daytime, nonetheless. Yeah, y'all didn't even wait till the cover of night.
No, just casually. And then Sala's just throwing a rope down there and he's like, do-do-do, and then he jumps behind him and immediately gets caught because, like, what the hell?
Yep, and that's where I wrote, there's a cute little mini Egypt model down here. Kudos to the child that made this.
And wait, now that I'm realizing the Well of Souls, the purpose of that is to find where the Ark of the Covenant is buried. So I got that wrong.
Oh, so that was that room with the mini model.
That was that room with the mini model. And then they basically did, like, a science experiment where he on a staff puts the medallion and then it has this crazy light beam that's like it's over here.
It's like, again, the Mythbusters could have a field day with this movie because I just have a feeling the ancient Egyptians couldn't invent like laser beams. I don't know.
I don't think so, know. But the music was just like and you're like, wow. And then he can't get back up he does get back up and like they're all caught caught again.
He gets brought back up by Sal, and this is where he's like, oh my god, Marian's alive. And then he quickly makes out with her. She didn't say if she liked it, but he did it. And then she's like, untie me. And he's like, you know what? I gotta go do something. So you're gonna hang out here. And then he fucking leaves her again. Are you kidding me? Sir! Why can't she help you dig? What is wrong with you?
He literally just traumatizes her over and over and over
He's the worst.
again. And I don't understand why she keeps getting caught. I mean, she wins, like, alcohol contests. She's kind of scrappy, but she's, like, constantly getting caught. I don't understand.
Because they just wrote her really badly.
They wrote her badly, and she can't do anything, so let's just, like, keep her away, basically.
Right. So then this is where, after this, he is like, oh, you're gonna stay there, don't die, go into the Ark, bye-bye. And then there's a scene of the Nazis are like, we gotta get info from the lady, and that's where you see the evil Nazi guy with the burned hand, because you're like, oh, did he die? I guess not. God damn, we have to deal with you more.
We meet again, Fräulein.
You know, I get it. Whatever. And then we don't wait until nighttime again. We just kind of go out in the daytime. Here's the thing about deserts, y'all. Like, you can't hide behind stuff, right? Like, it's flat and there's no trees or anything, so they're just straight up walking around. They're literally like 10 feet off to the left, and they're like, whoa, here we go.
They have like 500 feet covered with like 60 holes being dug, and they're like, they didn't realize that if they did 3 hops to the left, 4 like skedaddles to the front, and 20 paces forward, this is where we are. But eventually, after they start digging, it gets dark.
It does get dark, because that's where we get some bad Microsoft Paint CGI lightning. That was trash.
Oh boy, I wish I was like, the Lord is warning. Don't go down there. It's not good.
And to me, I was like, Fox Mulder would be taking notes. He would be, taking photos to document for the X-Files. But nope, we don't do that. And this is the room of snakes, Bridge.
Oh.
We had snakes on a plane. We got snakes in an Egyptian tomb.
Kate, take a guess at how many snakes were down there.
1,000. That might be too many.
No, that is too little.
My God, more?
So I read anywhere between 7 to 10,000 snakes.
What?
Again, I don't think movies can ever be as good because they would never do that. They would just CGI
Where do
all the
you
snakes.
get all those snakes from?
I don't know, but it was horrifying, and I was, like, screaming at this point, because, first of all, they used the fire, their one, like, I don't know, lantern thing, to try to ward off the snakes, and they're surrounding them, and I was horrified for them the whole time.
Yeah. Oh my God. So he's down there, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm just down here by myself, but then somehow Marian gets thrown down there, and she's wearing a dress, and I didn't really write good notes about how this happened.
Well, because she was wearing the dress because the French guy was like, maybe I could do something with you, aka like sleep with you, and she's like, let's have a drinking contest, and then she tries to get him drunk, and then he's like, I know what you're doing the whole time, and she's like, oh, and at the same time they see them digging, because like you said, they weren't that far away,
because they're literally down the lane right there.
So he whipped her with them and basically sees Indy down there, and Salah's always getting caught, so he's like, all right, Indy, here's your lady, and screw you, and they cover the place. So then you're like, they're screwed. They're never getting out. They're surrounded by snakes. And Marian's like, you've traumatized me my entire life. And now it's snakes.
Belloc didn't throw her down. One of the Nazi guys did. And then Belloc was like, hey now, that was like my kind of girlfriend. And I was like, what are you? You're a grown man. What is going on? So that was weird. Yo, and she, again, is hanging. You see up her dress. It's so lame. Ugh. I'm not a fan. And then she falls. And you're like, LOL, she's afraid of snakes, so she climbs on him, which, like, I would have done too, I think. So
I would have been on someone's shoulders.
Didn't like it at all. And, this is where Indiana Jones says, fuck the artifacts, I'm gonna blow shit up and knock down this giant statue.
He climbs
of
this
an
horse
Egyptian
statue.
No, it was Anubis. It was like the Egyptian god.
Oh my
and it was
God.
huge. It was like the size up to the ceiling. And he's like, anyway, it's so easy for me to just like kind of get this to start moving, and I'm gonna explode it through a wall. Woo! too, and it works so great.
Oh my god. Well,
Wow.
and they're in the scariest room of all time, and he thinks to crash it through the wall because the snakes were coming through the hole. So he's like, the snakes have to be coming from somewhere. And in my head, I'm like, why are they coming from anywhere? And why are they coming here? Because it seems to just be more snakes. And you magically crash through this wall, and then they get out.
Yeah, how did these snakes how are they alive? What are we doing?
I don't know. I don't
my
know what
God.
they're eating. I don't
No.
know what's happening, but it was very easy for them to escape what I
Yes.
thought was like an unescapable place.
And very quickly, they're like, oh, the Ark is on a truck, and we gotta go get to the truck, and then we gotta get the truck, and then I'm gonna get on a horse, and then I steal a horse, and then I go get the truck. And I was like, oh my God.
my
Oh, wait, no, I
God.
lied. First, there's this whole thing with the propeller plane.
Oh, that's a famous scene with the really buff dude.
This was another, like, I felt like I was watching a Six Flags stunt show with this, like, slow turning plane, and we're all, like, choreographed fighting around it, and, yep.
And the guy gets his head chopped off by the propeller.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of, like, Saw-like deaths in this movie. We don't see them, but, like,
And then, because of the gasoline from either the truck or the plane, that creates, like, a giant explosion that I think kills multiple people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people died. Many deaths were had in this movie.
But then we chase in the truck.
Woo! And then it's exciting music! Moving on from the death!
It's Fast and the Furious, and Harrison Ford is just, like, crushing it, and he is just literally, like a video game, taking out cars left and right, throwing people to the ground, shooting people, just killing. He's just on, actually, honestly, he's just on a mass murder scheme, and really couldn't be bothered by it.
He literally has a car drive off a cliff, and I was like, oh, what? How did we do that? Okay, I don't care. It's fine. Fast and Furious 100. Let's do it.
I did get some Terminator vibes from this, too.
Which part?
Just the truck driving and him just demolishing everybody, and I was like, this is some Terminator like destruction right now.
Definitely. And then the best part is, this was a little bobbish, but not as bad, was Indy has the Ark in the truck, and he drives to this town that he has not been to for who knows how many days, and I don't think everyone knows who he is. He drives up, and all these people magically know that he's magically hijacking this truck, and it's so magical, and they magically have a big space open in a garage, so they magically bring him in, and then they literally, like, on a Broadway musical, like, everybody is like, hut, 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 and they all just, like, choreographed, like, hide him, and then act like life is normal, and I blacked out. I didn't know what was going on. It happened so fast. Oh my God.
Well, and in my mind, the entire movie would just have ended after they, like, got out from the snake pit. Like, I did not realize there was all these other scenes. Like, the second half, I was like, holy shit, now we're doing a truck chase scene, and then how do they lose it again?
Because they get on the boat.
Yes. So now we're on a boat.
Then there's a submarine attack by the Nazis, as you do, and then they lose it again. So
okay, so Pirates of the Caribbean style, we're back to Goonies
via submarine. Yes,
and Marion once again is captured once again.
Oh my
God!
God!
Somehow Indy again hides in plain sight in like a little blowhole, and we see him do the most ridiculous thing in the world, which is he swims to the submarine,
and then he's
from
just chilling.
Another boat, and no one noticed, and apparently he's Michael fucking Phelps because he got there pretty quickly, and it was like 100 feet away, and I would tell you that would take like 2 hours for a person to do.
Okay, but also like submarines like go underwater, right? Submarine. Okay, so he's chilling on the top. So, like, what does he do when it goes under?
I don't know.
Like, is he just swimming above it? I don't understand that. Because I was like, oh, he's gonna sneak inside. No, he doesn't. He does not. We never see what happens. So
somehow he gets in.
No, he doesn't. We don't see that.
He has to.
My fan theory is he doesn't, and he just kind of like swims above the whole time somehow.
Okay, he just like holds on like a dolphin fin.
Like you're in Bahamas doing that.
Okay, so basically he fails the mission once again, and then he's like in Germany, and you're like, hot damn, this is not good. And they're taking off the Covenant.
Yeah.
And then he somehow, like, again, no one sees him, and he just steals a uniform from some other soldier very slyly.
Oh my God.
And he's just hanging out among the crew, and no one knows what Indiana Jones looked like.
He even like hip checks Belloc at one point, and I was like, Indy, like, play cool, man. What are we doing?
Play cool.
Come on.
But yeah, they are... Why are they walking in the desert?
Because they're going to the place where presumably the Ark was, like, opened once before. Like, there was that picture they showed in the beginning. Okay. So I think they were going there. But, you know, somehow in this... I don't know how long of a hike we've done in the desert again, but somehow Indiana Jones is a rocket launcher. So that's the video game part is coming back in because it's so like, insane. You found a rocket launcher in the desert, so now you can use this as a weapon. And I was like, what are we doing?
Well, and he didn't go to the school of Brad Pitt's Ocean 11 because his bluff sucked. He was like, I'm about to blow it up. And the French guy was like, we'll blow it up. And he's like, okay, now I care about archaeology and I won't blow it up.
Oh my God. Indy, make up your mind, sir.
So then they easily capture him and Marion and they like put them on a stake and like away from their like weird like ceremony. And then this movie gets ridiculous.
Yeah, it does. Belloc is wearing like a Pope like cosplay. Like he packed that outfit. Like he packed a giant hat and a giant robe and then he changed into it when they got to the sandy location. Like what's happening? We set up like weird lights as if like it's the production shoot and we're just like leaving it in the frame. I don't understand. Nazis.
Well, and it's the whole thing is about like technically the Jewish religion, right? So then you have all these Nazis being like, I don't know how I feel about this. And the French guy's like, no, it's really incredible. I need to see what's inside. And they open it and they find out it's just sand in his crazy cosplay outfit. Yeah. And then the Nazis are like, this was bullshit. You made us do all this work, blah, blah. And then I kind of got some Poltergeist vibes. It was then ghosts and crazy shit came out and crazy lady demons. And they were like, Nazi, dead. Nazi, dead.
You dead.
Nazi,
you dead.
Dead. You're dead. You're dead. And honestly, I wish that existed today, but it doesn't. And Harrison Ford and Marion are like, I know how to protect ourselves. We just have to close our eyes.
Yeah, that's it. Wow. What a day. You just have to happen to be taking a nap and you're gonna make it.
It's Medusa. Don't open your eyes or you will die. What?
I don't know. It was very, like, part of me was like, you could take this scene of the movie and splice it with, like, Ghostbusters. And, like, the scene where all the ghosts are, like, running rampant. And I'm like, and I wouldn't be able to tell difference because it was so cheesy. And then at one point, I think this is Belloc or one of the Nazis, they're like, it's so beautiful. And I'm like, everyone's dying. What are you talking about? And then that person dies too. So the face melting was cool though, that effect.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
But that was why I kind of was like okay with the cheesy. Some of the gunshots scenes and then this ghost scene, you could tell they were like, okay, we can't figure out how to do that like in real life.
Yeah.
And we're trying our best. And it was kind of fine because 80% of the movie was like real effects, like real spiders, real snakes, real planes being blown up. Like that was real.
And the stunts too. Like some of the stunts you could tell, you're like, oh, this is like someone actually did this. You know, they like hung underneath a car or a truck as it's driving. Like that was cool.
Besides like the car that went off the cliff that I was like,
that was like, probably not real. I don't think those people really drove off a cliff. I don't think so.
that was like a claymation. You're like, what? But yeah, it was insane that everyone basically died. And then somehow Harrison Ford and Marion are like, all right, open your eyes. And we can somehow untie us. And I guess we're good.
Then they just walked home. How the flip, what do we do now? We don't know.
No, they just carry the Ark. Oh! Like, I guess it's not possessed anymore.
Okay.
And I don't know how they think it's safe. And he basically is like, it's a source of unspeakable power and needs to be researched. I would have left his ass in the desert. I would have ran so fucking far and said, screw your goddamn covenant. I'm out of here. You've ruined my life, Indy.
Well, and then, again, this is where you need a Fox Mulder to be like, Indy, no, we can't bring this to the U.S. government because they're going to take it for themselves. And they're going to reuse it it's going to go in the wrong hands. And that's exactly what happens, y'all.
They literally put it in a warehouse.
Yeah, he's like, where's the Ark? And they're like, it's being taken care of by top men. And he's like, who? And they're like, top men. And I was like, goddamn X-Files! just, I'm sorry. I cannot.
Yeah, to me, the first half of the movie was exciting, adventure. It's your memory of what Indiana Jones is. And then the second half of the movie is like the Fast and Furious poltergeist chaos that I really was just, I had no memory of it. And I was like, holy cow. Okay, but like taking a step back, I mean, I still really like the movie.
Oh, no, it was fun. It's fun to watch. Some of this, I mean, you said this, some of the stuff is like cheesy, and some of the line delivery is like cheesy. So like a lot of Marion's lines are said weird, and you're like, why? But, you know, we just kind of ignore it, and then we're like, yay, whips and hats. Woo!
Pretty much.
Fun.
Pretty much. Whips and hats.
Yep. So would you watch this again?
I would watch it again.
Yeah.
But this can't be like an every year it's on at Christmas time type thing. Like, this is like a once every 3 to 4 years adventure, because it's fun when you forget about it, because if you remember it, you're like, okay, this is a little too ridiculous.
I agree. I would watch it again, but not frequently. Probably. Yeah.
Oh my God, we got through that. We got through that really confusing synopsis turned into a breakdown that eventually made sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah. So, you know, that's one of, like I said, 4 movies. There are others. I don't want to count the 4th one as one, but it is one, which is, you know, hurts me all day, but it's okay.
Kate, I actually have a special surprise for you with this episode.
What's that?
We are going to have on, for a surprise guest, the one and only James.
Woo! Have on right now? Oh, now! Yay!
Okay. This will be complicated.
James, do you want to say anything special about the movie and why you picked it? And hopefully what we covered that we may or may not have covered.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, first off, let me say thanks for the opportunity to come on. This is,
wow. Welcome anytime. The last time you were on was our 2nd episode, which was Babe. People don't forget.
That was like over a year ago.
That was a long time ago, yeah.
I thought Raiders was fun because I read its number something on the top 100 list of movies of all time, you know, and it's way up there, and it just has gotten a lot of acclaim and everything.
Yeah.
To your point, Bridget, about, you know, it was just a whirlwind and really a lot of things going on. I didn't realize till I dug into it, when they did the first cut, it was like 3 hours.
Wow.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I think Paramount was like, okay, no, it has to be 2 hours or less. And so, you know, they went and cut it. And like,
okay, that makes sense, because there's like a lot happening.
There's a lot of cuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain how you told me it was like an homage to the 1930s. Like, it was basically a ripoff of what was like made in the 30s, and they modernized it.
Yeah, kind of. So I always read that Spielberg and Lucas, they were trying to emulate the serials from the 30s. And the serials they'd be kind of like, I don't think there's a really good analogy nowadays. I think maybe in the 80s, it was kind of like maybe like the A-Team and those kinds of TV shows. Or maybe like Fast and the Furious, if they had like...
Oh, no.
Well, if they had like 1/10 the budget, you know, these were like exciting and action-packed, but still like low budget.
Yeah.
And lots of literal cliffhangers, like the hero is hanging off a cliff and the movie ends kind of thing.
I have a question for you, James, because you have flown planes before.
Ooh.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Would you ever fly one of those propeller planes where you are out in the open and bring your pet snake along with you? What do you think about that? What are the logistics for that? Because that happened in this movie.
In the movie, it was great. In real life, yeah, that doesn't seem to be like what happens. The snake gets scared, or the snake like goes and crawls in your control cables or something. It was just across
the cables, Kate.
Bridget and I, our solution was he just needs to get the snake a little airplane hat and little goggles.
Little goggles?
Yeah.
What was your favorite scene from the movie?
Ooh, that's tough. Oh my gosh, there's so many. The opening. In
the jungle.
In the jungle. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and that's a fun thing about a movie like that, when like within the first, 5 minutes, right? I think the boulder chasing him through the tunnel was it's in like the first 7 minutes or something.
Yes.
And James, why are middle-aged white men obsessed with World War II stuff like the Nazis and movies like this?
Okay. It's a good encapsulation of evil, right? Like the Nazis are easy bad guys.
Yeah, they are easy bad guys.
That's why most of the movies have them as bad guys. Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know, it fits the time, and the 30s are kind of like this exciting time where you had modern technology, but you didn't. You had radios, you had airplanes, but you didn't have cell phones and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You had whips and hats and leather
whips
jackets.
Yeah. Well, we hope when you listen to it, you like our review of it, because we got into some stuff.
Yeah. Well, thanks, James.
Yeah, thank you. I can't wait to hear your take on it.
I butchered the synopsis.
Okay, Bridget.
Oh, wait, actually, okay, is the Ark of the Covenant the 10 Commandments that were put into pieces, and that's what they think was in it?
Yes. Yeah, the original stone tablets that the 10 Commandments were written on, and Moses brought them down from
I thought it was just filled with magic and the Lord power. But I made that up.
It was because of the fact that it held the 10 Commandments.
So we were both correct.
We were both. Yeah, we got there. You might have to fast forward some parts of this episode, but you'll then be proud of us when we get into it later.
Okay.
Well, we love you.
Awesome. Thanks, James.
You bet. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Bridget.
Bye.
Well, Bridge, I have a movie pick for you.
Ooh-wee.
So, Bridge, do you know what next month is?
Oh, no.
What do you mean, oh, no?
Is it Spooky October with spooky?
Scary skeletons? It's October! Oh, but listeners, October doesn't need to be spooky all the time, right? We can have fun sometimes. So actually, I'm going a little easy on you as we reintroduce our theme of Halloween.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ease us into it, because I know Bridget don't like the scares. So we're gonna do, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna let my bias show. I am a huge fan of this movie, and I'm pretty sure this movie is like a family friendly. It's considered a comedy and a fantasy.
Ooh.
I don't know about I guess fantasy, but like honestly, it's more of like a family friendly, and it's definitely comedy, but it has the aesthetic of spoop in it. So it has kind of a high rating on IMDb. It's PG-13, which is fun for me to see because I had a suspicion this would not be PG-13, but I'm glad it is. This movie came out in 1991.
Oh, your year of birth.
'Twas my year of birth, but I think this movie still holds up, and there's been a lot of, I don't know if it's remakes, but I guess like kind of reboots of this movie as of recently, and they're not great. But this movie, I think, did it right, and it's gonna put you in the mood for Halloween. So, I feel like if I give you one actress, you're gonna know what it is. Actually, you might not. We got Angelica Houston in this, but I don't think it's gonna be the movie you think.
I mean, I go right to Addams Family.
Da-da-da-da!
Hey!
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, we're gonna do the witches.
Oh.
And I was gonna be like, no, but
oh
yeah.
my God, Kate! Oh, this is a great one. Morticia, my love.
Morticia and Gomez and Wednesday and Pugsley and Uncle Fester and oh God, we love them.
And the hand.
Yeah.
or
Thing.
Is that the hair? Thing is the hand.
And Lurch and then the grandma, who I don't know what her name is. We call her Grandma. Oh my God.
This will be our familial movie where we'll just talk about our own family and how they're just like the Addams Family.
Oh God. We did not have a severed hand as a pet growing up, thank God. So, yeah.
Oh, this is good. I haven't seen this in so long. This is a great introduction to October.
I love this movie. I think I honestly watch this once a year around Halloween. And it's usually like played on TV too, so maybe that's part of it. But I think it's just like funny. And like I said, it gives you good atmosphere. It's really not like a scary movie, even though there's like scarier, dark themes. But
love it.
I think it's great. So I'm excited to rewatch it.
Excellent pick.
Woo!
Oh me, oh my. Kate?
Bridge.
I'm thrilled. Yeah? Yes?
Oh, Brit. Wait. Brit.
Kate, if you decided to go on a worldwide adventure and you were packing and you thought, what should I wear? I would tell you, not a whip, not a leather jacket, and not a fedora.
No.
And take out some polyester and yoga pants, get some wicking, and you're going to be up for some adventure.
Yeah, and I would make sure that all my buttons are buttoned if I had buttons. Because, like, what are we doing? And I would put on sunscreen, sir, because you're on the desert.
Okay.
So there. Well, and Bridge.
Yes.
I just want to say, if we were gonna go dig in the desert and, you know, it was kind of close to where 100 billion other people were digging that we were trying to hide from, I would say, hey, let's wait till it's nighttime.
Yes!
And maybe we'll wear dark clothing to be inconspicuous, perhaps.
Pete, if only you were there. You were there. You wouldn't have to swim across the ocean to a submarine.
No. Well, and listeners, if you also think being low-key about your schemes is smart, and if you think that, you know, choosing the correct outfit for your daytime activities is good, and snakes should not be in planes, a la Samuel Jackson, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written
them.
reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. If you scroll down on the main page, there's a form you can fill out to request a movie. So this movie that we just did, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, this was a request by James. And James went on the website, scrolled down, did the form, hoop-a-bop-a-deep. Great day, James. Thank you.
He's the best, and that's why we dedicated this whole episode to him.
Yes. And listeners, we're entering October, so if you have some spoopy, scary movies you would like us to do, please, please, please recommend them! Because we'll do them.
We'll do them. We may not like it, but we'll do them.
I'm gonna like it, because I love October and scary, and it's so fun! It's a fun day. What else can they do on our website, Bridge?
They can buy us coffee. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I was going to harmonize, but I didn't know what it was, so okay.
I was trying to think of, like, October stuff, and I was going to be like, they can buy us candy. But I don't want candy. I want coffee.
I want candy. Okay.
It is a Ko-Fi site, and it basically is giving us money, and that money then goes to us saying, okay, we're on the right track. We're picking the right movies. We're talking about it the right way, and we're making sure that our listeners' picks get read and reviewed.
Yeah.
And so that's where that helps us out a lot, and ultimately, we'd love just to do this all day, every day. And so if you pay us a salary and a living wage, we'll do that. There we go.
Easy, right, guys? Get on it. Simple dimple. Yeah.
Simple dimple.
Yes. All right. Well, check all that out, and we hope to hear from you.
Kate, I think we got to get out of here like those really terrible, scary, mystical ghost saint, evil devil people. We're out.
Bye-bye. See you next week for the Addams Family.
Da-da-da-da.
Hey, hey.
Da-da-da-da.
There's lyrics to the song, and I forget
Da-da-da-da.
what they
Da-da-da-da.
are.
Da-da-da-da.
Okay.
Love ya.
I love you.
Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.